from Nashville, Tennessee. It's the Three. And here's your host, Laura Harris-Smith.
Hi everybody, I'm Laura Harris-Smith and welcome to The Three. I've got a great guest today and I don't ever do this, but I am going to read to you. This guy has so many things, doors that God has opened and places He has taken him. It's going to set the stage for the book that he's here to talk about today. He is an author, a radio host. He's won multiple awards, Personality of the Year for his radio show, which airs on more than 200 stations nationwide. He has a podcast with friend and radio producer. It's called the Brant and Sherry Oddcast. If you got any, this guy is funny too. So we're headed into a segment you're gonna love. The topic is a little weighty, but it's very timely. And so I want to welcome to The Three, Brant Hansen. Thank you for coming to The Three. And I want to tell you something. The topic of this book, guys, it's the men we need. And it's God's purpose for the manly man, the avid indoorsman, and any man willing to show up. And I told you, I'm so stoked about this because about a month ago, God just laid it on my heart. It was my Sunday to teach at church. And, you know, I've raised 3 sons, I have 8 grandsons, and I'm like, I am fed up with male toxicity. I am so fed up with it. And so I just did a stand-up sermon. Telling the men of God to stand up and to quit buying into that. So anyway, that was my small contribution to this topic. But I've known you for 10 minutes and you've got this incredible humor, this incredible demeanor. God's put you in this package that I am really curious for you to explain to us your take on this. Why now? Why did you do this now?
I feel like there's a lot of good books and stuff like deconstructing masculinity and showing us the toxic stuff, and it's so true. We need all that to disabuse us of what, you know, the fake masculinity that actually is domineering and hurtful and exploitative. We
don't want to say it's not, but yes.
Yeah, all that stuff. But I'm like, okay, so a lot of guys are wondering, so what am I supposed to do?
What am I supposed to do?
Is there something that people can articulate that's distinctively masculine, that again, distinctively, you can say, well, we should all be like Jesus, which is true, but that's true for women and men both. But is there something that's distinctly masculine and good that we can actually have a vision for and aim for? And I likened it to, like, we have a lot of pieces to the puzzle, but a guy needs a box top to see this is the way it's supposed to look. So I'm taking a shot at it. And I'm saying, I think what we're supposed to do, I think the best representation is what Adam was charged with doing at the very beginning. He was supposed to be the keeper of the garden.
Wow.
And I think that's still it. And that means not just protecting, but creating a space that's secure for people where they can thrive. So it's women, children, everybody around, other guys. Like, if I'm a gardener, then the vulnerable things around me will thrive. And so I think that's still our role when we're at our best. So I wanted to take a shot at it, and I can always be wrong. I did try to make the book sort of funny, but that's always in the eye of the beholder. So
if you haven't watched anything he's done online, you got to look it up. That's why I started by saying he's really funny. I mean, no pressure. And this is a heavy topic, but it would take that. This topic is dividing so many people, and you've got like this one side of the world who's saying all men are evil, you know, and then you've got, I would say now there's a Christian demographic who they are still kind of stuck in, I don't want to say stuck. Listen, as thoroughly modern Millie as I am, I homeschooled my kids for 24 years. I got 6 kids. I believe the husband's the head of our home. And sometimes I'm sitting in a room full of women who are trying to make decisions, and I'm like, I'm sorry to be the only male chauvinist in the room, but can we get some guys in here? Because you guys are acting too petty and catty, and we need male leadership. But what I am curious about, what you are doing in this message, which we'll get into, is how are the women responding to it?
It's been overwhelmingly positive. Wow. Overwhelming. It's very difficult to argue with this because I am, again, when you're talking about the keeper of the garden, this is a position of allowing people to flourish around you. I, as a husband, am a huge fan of my brilliant wife. I respect her. I see potential in her.
Wow.
I always have, and she fulfills it. But it's like I'm a fan. But I want my kids, the people around me, to flourish.
That's awesome.
And that takes attention and cultivation and time and patience.
It sure does.
We wouldn't need a Me Too movement if men embodied this. If we were keepers of the garden, there wouldn't be this.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's a lashback because we haven't had this attitude, or we've had this idea of masculinity that is toxic and wrong. So of course it's going to come back. Well, what do I don't need that kind of masculinity. No, you don't. But our neighborhoods would be a lot better.
I think that you're right.
Our culture would be better. Like if we had this understanding that this is what we're here for. And the wild thing is, this resonates with very young guys. I told my son when he was 7, our daughter was 4 at the time, he was picking on her. And I said, Justice, you're betraying your role. Like, you're supposed to protect her from people who are causing pain, but you're the one causing it. And that clicked for him.
Oh my goodness.
But I think for God, like, to understand that, like, if my words are hurting my wife or making her feel insecure, and I'm not using my words to make her feel utterly secure, then I'm now the threat. I'm the problem. So I want guys to inhabit this role. And I'm telling you, a 7-year-old can understand it. A 4-year-old almost can understand, like, this is my job. So I'm trying to flick that switch for guys to have that vision for how we should live.
Okay, you said you had a son named Justice.
Yeah.
And what's your daughter's name?
Julia.
Oh my goodness, so we have all the J's.
I noticed
all
that.
6 of ours are J's. Justice was on my name list.
And Jude was on mine, and so is Genesis.
Oh my goodness,
so it's funny.
this is incredible. Okay, so I just had to throw that in there.
Yeah.
So how do you differentiate between what God considers to be a man and just the outdoorsy, manly, you know what I mean? Like, how are the messages is it getting lost in there, or how are you defining manhood?
That's a great question. So I'm trying to make it clear. Like, some people would look at me like, you're not the guy to write this book, because I'm not an outdoorsman. I don't hunt, I don't fish, I don't ride motorcycles, I can't fix anything. I try, I cannot. And what's more, I play the flute. I play the accordion. I have a puppet collection. These are all true things. I was the president.
You know this is television, right? You really want to admit all this?
I am. I'm busted. I was the president, no lie, of the Illinois Student Librarians Association.
Oh, Brant.
I did not have any girlfriends. That's what I'm trying to say.
But again, the package. So this is why.
That's just it. So, but the point is, my wife finds me very attractive when I'm willing to act. I'm not angry, but I'm engaged. I'm not passive. And I make her feel secure. And if I can do this, so I might be the guy to write this book, because you're not going to get caught up on, okay, I need to climb mountains, and I need to hunt elk with my bare hands. Like, that's not me.
Right.
But masculinity at its deepest root is this keeper of the garden thing that I think we're called to. There's a fascinating thing that happened when I was in college. I went to a university, and there was a girl's house, and we saw their rooms. We did a tour of the guy's house. And the girl's house, a Christian house. There's the same poster in every girl's room, and it was this guy, and it really made me think. Obviously, I'm like, so they find this attractive. It was a guy who was a good-looking guy, and he had his shirt off. He's wearing jeans. It was an artsy picture, and it was a profile. And he was holding a baby. This is the best-selling poster of all time.
Interesting.
It's called L'Enfant. It was in every girl's room. And I asked, what is the deal with the guy with the baby? Well, that's 6th time you see this. This poster sold 5 million copies. They said it's not just the guy. He's cute, but there's any number of male models. It's like, it's the way the baby's looking at him. Like, I'm vulnerable. I love you.
I love that.
I need you. That was like, so women intuit that that's what men are for.
Yeah.
Like, here's something that you could harm, but you're not going to. You're going to help it thrive. And I've seen that play out over and over. The things that women find attractive are men that make them feel secure.
Well, and you know, it's interesting because at the polls you see them repeatedly, and it keeps coming up to the top that what women want.
Yes.
It's not money.
No.
It's actually not looks. Number 1 is a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Number 2 is communication.
Yeah.
And I knew a guy who, you know, he was married many, many decades. He wanted to have a ministry and all of this, but his wife was insecure, miserable, and literally someone kept giving him this prophetic word. you need to go home and tend your garden, tend your garden, tend your garden. So
Yeah.
when I'd never heard anybody else say that beside you, but when we come back in the break, I want to talk about just the nuts and bolts of this.
Absolutely.
Because there are a lot of mothers who are going to watch, mothers who
Yeah.
are raising sons, grandmothers who are influencing grandsons, and so come right back after the break, more with Brant Hansen. Be right back. Hi, I'm Laura Harris-Smith, inventor of Quiet Brain Essential Oil Blend. If you would have told me 2 years ago when I was mixing that very first little bottle that we would have thousands of customers from all over the world and that we'd have to quadruple our staff to keep up with the demand produced by our international TV infomercial, I'm not sure I would have believed you. And if you told me I'd be hearing regular testimonies of improved sleep, reduced stress, migraine relief, even help with other neurological challenges like seizures, PTSD, tremors, muscle spasms, even anxiety, well, I probably would have cried. And sometimes, when I'm reading a Quiet Brain testimony, I do. But if you would have told me 1 year ago when we introduced our Quiet Brain Variety Gift Box that it would become the biggest selling item on our online store at quietbrainoil.com, I would have said, I believe it. The reason is because I created the gift box to be the perfect combination of all of our Quiet Brain products. The oil itself for topical use on the skin that contains only certified pure oils that can cross the blood-brain barrier and bring speedy relief and neurological support. And our aromatherapy line with our Quiet Brain shampoo and conditioner, candles, inhalers, all of which use the nasal passages to gain direct access to the limbic brain, which is the emotional center of the brain. So whether you need to use Quiet Brain topically or aromatherapeutically, the Quiet Brain gift box has everything that you need. And now we've given our gift box an upgrade without increasing the price. It now comes with our satin Quiet Brain Sleep Eye Mask. Just put a few drops of oil on the nose guard and you're on your way to enjoying a good night's sleep. And it all comes packaged in a beautiful gift box and delivered to the destination of your choice or sent to you so you can use it for 7 different gifts or keep a few for yourself. When sold separately, the items in the box are $160, but you're getting it for $135. That's a $25 savings, meaning that you're getting the nasal inhaler and the shampoo and conditioner for free. The Quiet Brain gift box comes with 1 Whisper Quiet Nightlight diffuser with 16 color options and intermittent mist options, 1 dropper bottle of Quiet Brain, 1 Quiet Brain nasal inhaler, 1 Quiet Brain candle, the satin sleep eye mask, and your healing shampoo and conditioner. And remember, both are color safe, aloe enriched, paraben and sulfate free, loaded with wonderful ingredients like unscented coconut oil, olive oil, sugar beet betaine, and of course the Quiet Brain blend with its 8 essential oils like lavender, frankincense, myrrh, sandalwood, and more. We get repeated testimonies of both being used with great effectiveness during headaches for pain relief. So go to quietbrainoil.com to order. Quiet Brain is a great gift for any time of the year, but especially for seasons like these that bring additional stress. Give the gift of health and peace this year. Give the gift of Quiet Brain. Hi everybody, welcome back to theTHREE. I'm Laura and we're here with author Brant Hansen. We're talking about the men we need. I keep thinking of the movie What Women Want. No, it's the men we want, the men we need. And so I want to talk, just as we're diving into this topic and we kind of skimmed past all the social, stereotypes, what is your definition just of real love then? Because men today are, you've got women who are angry at men, then you got men who are trying to defend themselves and, hey, say what my manhood is. But when it comes right down to it, this is all about love and how to communicate love. What is your definition of real love?
I think love is willing the best for someone. And we're so confused about it. So I've tried to, all my chapters are really short, but I spend one short chapter saying, you need to understand this as a man. You can say you love this woman, but we also say, I love pizza.
Yeah.
And do you really love the pizza? Or do you want to destroy it and consume it? Because that's what you're really talking about, often when we're talking about women too. Like, so I love this woman. No, you love the feelings that she gives you. You love what she can do for you.
Wow.
And when she ceases to, you don't love her anymore. Like, that's not love. So my role as a husband is I want the best for my wife. Like that's
amazing.
To be a good keeper of the garden, it's everybody who's in my sphere, that's my garden, like my sphere of influence. Like I want the best for these people. That's the best way to do it. And until you understand that that's the real love, you're going to be confused for the rest of your life, I think. So I do make a point of that to understand that this relationship is actually beautiful. It's a reflection of God's image, both male and female.
Yeah, it is, and it's important to engage body, mind, and spirit. So you talk about the difference in spirituality and emotions.
Yes.
So make that distinction. What are you talking about?
I'm trying to encourage guys again, like I've had to grow spiritually. It's hard because I'm not particularly emotional. And our church culture is kind of set up to provide emotional experiences. Like we have a darkened theater a lot of our churches, and we got smoke and lasers or whatever and visuals.
Yes.
It's all beautiful. Like that's fine. But not everybody responds to that. So a lot of guys in particular, and some women who are more analytical, are watching everybody else have this experience and going, I'm not having this. Is something wrong with me?
Right.
Or has God given up on me? Or am I just too much of a sinner? Yeah, they really do feel that way.
They do.
And so I'm trying to tell guys, like, you have to take responsibility for your own spiritual life. But I have good news for you on this. It's not about emotions. It's about loyalty.
Wow. Okay, so you talk about the 6 decisions.
Yeah.
There's 6 decisions. I know you can't give all of them away.
Right.
But tell us a few of them. Men have to make these decisions.
Yeah, okay, so this is what I think is going to really help. It's just practical wisdom, I hope. But I start with relish the real and forsake the fake.
Say that again. I like that.
Relish the real, forsake the fake.
Okay.
You are not going to want to look back. And I'm a guy who loves his video games. I do. But I'm not going to want to look back at age 70 or 80 and go, man, all my adventures were virtual. And I didn't show up. But a lot of guys, this is a continuing problem with younger guys especially, but it's video games and it's pornography and it's living life just through virtual stuff. And they become shut-ins.
Yeah, they do.
Because it's easier, you get more of a payoff psychologically. And I'm trying to tell them, like, you might tell yourself, because the culture will say, well, as long as I'm not hurting anybody else, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want you to know something. If you are shutting yourself in like this, you are hurting other people.
Right.
Because we needed you out here. And we needed the gifts that you would have had.
I love that.
You have gifts and purpose, and people needed. There's a woman who would have benefited from you actually being a man and showing up.
Oh,
and now
my
she
goodness.
doesn't have that. There's neighbors that would have benefited from you. There's kids, there's vulnerable people that would have, but you didn't show up. So you are hurting people, and that can echo for years, for generations, because there's this missing guy that God created and you didn't materialize. So I'm trying to tell them that, also encourage them, like, a real woman is going to call you out to be somebody you wouldn't have been otherwise. That woman on the virtual woman is not going to do that. She doesn't make you mad. She doesn't challenge you.
You don't have to forgive her.
You don't have to forgive her. There's no intellectual challenge. You don't have to change. She doesn't call you out to change.
Wow.
She doesn't call you out to go to CVS at 3 a.m. because she doesn't feel very good. But that's life, and that's actually what makes you a better man. Like, a woman will bring this out of you, a real woman, but a fake woman will never do that, and you will stay a child. But we needed you to grow up. So it does hurt other people. So I'm trying to get that across. I do try to put humor into it, but I'm quite serious with it.
It's timely, and I know why God chose you to do it. When we come back from the break, I want to talk more about Cure.
Yeah.
I'm really fascinated about that. And the more I talk to you, like, we're getting way down to the core, the heart of Brant. Okay, so come right back after the break. More with Brant Hansen.
Aromatics Oil is a family of therapeutic-grade patented oil blends created by nutritionist and author Laura Harris Smith. Invented for her own lifelong journey for neurological health, Quiet Brain now helps those worldwide who suffer from insomnia, migraines, anxiety, seizures, tremors, and more. Quiet Brain contains oils like frankincense, myrrh, lavender, sandalwood, and others. Next, Happy Brain is a bright mood-lifting citrus blend and contains oils like lemon, lime, clementine, spearmint, and more. Users say it combats depression and even aids in weight loss. Next is Sharp Brain, Laura's Focus Blend, also used to improve cognitive memory issues with oils like coffee, cinnamon, vanilla, clove, and others. Each $69.95 bottle is a 10-week supply if used daily, or about $1 a day. And right now, buy 2 bottles and get the third one free, and get a free eye mask using the promo code on your screen at neuromaticsoil.com or at 1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET-BRAIN.
I'm naturopathic Dr. Laura Harris Smith, and if you'll give me 10 days, Give It to God and Go to Bed can help you stress less, sleep better, and dream more. There are even links inside to my free 10 Days to Deeper Sleep and Dreams program and 10 Goodnight videos.
Can you close your eyes and just still listen to me?
The whole book takes place in your bedroom, and with chapter titles like The Junk Under Your Bed, The Treasures in Your Bedroom, and The Monsters in Your Closet. Give It to God and Go to Bed helps you learn to rest and hear God speak in dreams. Take back your sleep and dreams, my friend, with Give It to God and Go to Bed. Hi everybody, welcome back to The3. I'm Laura Harris Smith. We're here today with author Brant Hansen. He is the author of several books, but today we're talking about the men we need. God's purpose for the manly man, the avid indoorsman, or any man willing to show up. It's such a timely message. And you know, we were talking about manhood, many different definitions before the break, but then you mentioned, and I just saw your heart peek through there, an organization named called Cure. Tell me all about it and what you do for these children.
Oh, I totally will. Like, I love talking about this. And the weird thing is, I visited our hospital in Afghanistan years ago when I heard about it, and I literally asked the doctors there, this is a Christian hospital, about Jesus serving women and children in Afghanistan. And I asked them, how come I've never heard about this before? And they said, we don't have a PR department, we're doctors, we're busy. And like, this is the best kept secret to me in the world. So what Cure does, we do orthopedic and neurosurgeries for kids that have correctable disabilities. So these are things, if they were in the US, they'd be taken care of lickety-split. It winds up they're 15, 16, 18 years old, dragging themselves on the ground, and it could be fixed. So it's like, as a Christian, you're like, we could fix this. Why don't we? And it costs about $1,000 to pay for surgery, to give you an idea. Like, well, good grief, we've got to do this. That's what these hospitals are for. They're permanent hospitals that have full-time surgeons, doctors, nurses, staff, and they're all about Jesus. So they tell people about the kingdom of God, and they heal their kids.
How can we support that?
Oh,
I want to put it on the screen. I want to get because you doing all those surgeries, like, you need some funding. So tell us what they need and where they can do it.
Go to cure.org. You can even see the kids in their backstories. These are the most heartbreaking stories, but we can turn them around. So people go back to their villages, for instance, or their communities, and these kids haven't been able to walk, for instance, and now they're walking and playing. And they were told they were cursed.
Are they orphans? Or they have their families?
They have families. They have no money.
Poor families.
So they burst into tears on a regular basis. These hospitals are places where people are crying with joy when they find out my kid can be healed. How much is it going to cost me?
Oh my goodness!
It's going to cost me nothing. And why are you doing this? It's because of this Jesus. We pray over the kid. The surgeons pray over the kids in the ORs. There's worship music going on for the moms and dads. There's like I said, it's the most Jesus-shaped thing I've seen. It's healing and proclaiming the kingdom of God, which is exactly what Jesus told us to do. So I'm elated about it. Yes, funding, you can become a hero, what we call a Cure Hero. It's like you give X amount, I think it's $39 a month, and you're helping heal a different kid every month.
I was going to ask if there's, oh wow.
And you get to see the kids you're helping heal.
Can you see the kids?
Yes.
I'm like very tangible like that.
You get an email each month, it'll show you the kids you're helping heal and show their backstory and what they're going through. At each one, you're like, I can't believe I got to do this.
Oh my goodness.
So this should be the most funded thing that we do, but unfortunately it's not. We don't have the PR. What we do have are doctors and surgeons dedicating their lives to it, and kids walking who couldn't walk, and kids getting neurosurgeries that save their lives, funerals that are being canceled or not happening because we're giving surgeries to these babies. And again, it's all overtly. It's not just like we're hoping they ask. It's overtly in the name of Jesus, and everybody gets to hear about his kingdom and the gospel. So I am amped about it. And this is what my son is planning to do. He's trying to become a neurosurgeon to serve at Cure hospitals and heal these kids.
You must be so proud.
I'm extremely proud. Like, I'm amped about it. I'm amped that I get to talk about it.
All right, we've just got a few minutes left. So do you think in another year maybe even, I hope it's not a whole generation, but do you think that we will look back at this topic and regret the way that we demand our sons, the way that we, try to really take their manhood out of them? And I don't mean we, I mean society.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's going to be a generation, and this is what I'm afraid of, that are going to wake up and say, oh no, what did we do? Because we're already dealing with fatherlessness and all of that.
I don't know. We've already made decisions as a culture that have been so disastrous.
Right.
If you just look statistically, you can go across the board, from suicide rates to depression to human trafficking to pornography to by deciding we know better. By going God's rules, that's crazy. We're smart, and we've unleashed hell. And can we reverse that? I don't know if we can culturally. All I can do is what I can do.
Right.
And so I literally, when I'm writing the book, I'm just like, it's not a debate book.
Yeah.
I'm literally just trying to be a blessing to whoever picks it up.
Right.
As a boy or a man, to be, this is who I'm supposed to be. And that'll be a blessing to whoever they interact with.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen. We are already made that decision a couple generations ago, and we're paying for it.
Yes, and we need God's perspective. We need to know what He says about manhood, and the things that He does, which we think are our restriction, these rules, the things He set up in the world about our sexuality, about any topic you can think of, and the world has turned it upside down because they want to live their own lives.
Yeah,
and this is what the video you have online of Snowball and Gypsy and the turtle crossing the road, all of those things, you got to Google that. These are just pictures of how if we would trust God and get His definition of who we are supposed to be, our lives would actually, they're not restrained, they are actually going to flourish.
Yes.
So what is then? What is His message to men?
Well, I think it's be the keeper of the garden. I really do. I think it's the best word picture, because people, if you just say, you guys got to man up, you got to be a real man, like that means a lot of different things to different people,
does,
and some of it's not good. But being a keeper of the garden that allows, making a space with whatever influence you have in your life for other people to flourish and for the vulnerable to flower and bloom. Like using whatever you have.
Yeah.
Maybe it's words, like me, that's all I got. But other people, like that, to me, that's what God was looking for with Adam, and it's what He's looking for with us.
Listen to this dedication. Dedicated to all of us guys who can't bench 400 pounds and to the people who somehow love us. That's so good. Tell us where to get it.
Any of the book places. You can go to BrantHansen.com, but it's at Amazon and all that stuff too.
Anywhere good books are sold.
Yes, that's what I meant. Yes.
Brant, thank you for joining us.
Place.
God bless you, Cure, your family, all of it. All right, everybody. So glad that you were with us today. Join us next week on The Three. I'm Laura Harris-Smith. You're talking about in this book, I think we will have a generation of strong men.
I would love it.
Brant, what is that?
Sometimes I feel I've got to run away. I've got to get away.
It's a little slow.
I'm so sorry, don't play that way. Once I ran to you.
Let's just go with credits. Just like that.
Oh yeah. We gotta speed it up though.